Ray J, what was it like watching JB and Max shoot the way they were shooting for a while?
I mean, it was great. I mean, they got out to a fast start on us, hitting everything, and to be honest, JB is while we was in that game and had a chance to even come back and win, and he continued throughout the whole game. It was amazing to watch him do that.
JB, have you ever been in a duel like that? I mean, Bryce and I were talking about Dominique Wilkins and Larry Bird way before you were born, but that's what it reminded us of.
I personally can't say that I've ever been in a shooting match like that. You know, he's up there where he is, and it's all-time points for a reason. So, you know, it's just a blessing to be in this league, be able to lace it up with these guys like Ray J, and then on the other foot have to go up against guys like Max.
And Jalen, obviously a great offensive game, but you had that weak side block on Shedrick in the second half that seemed to kind of key the run you all went on. What worked well for you on that play, and how were you able to make that block?
They told us they were telling like the other wing on the zone to drop down when the ball is opposite, especially when they throw it into the other block. So the layup's not wide open. So I read it, and I just timed the jump, and I just went up and got it for real.
What was the message at halftime that kind of got y'all playing some better defense? They were getting obviously a lot of threes. What did you adjust?
Try to take Max away. I mean, he was going crazy throughout the game, but try to limit his shots and limit his touches and force somebody else to beat us.
Just curious, what was y'all's mindset whenever y'all see Dessou go down?
I mean, you hate to see it because you want to play against the best players and you want to play them at full strength and see how we stack up against them. So, I mean, I wish the best for him and praying for him that he gets better.
Jalen, was it emotional at all for you today?
Yeah, it definitely was. I ain't even gonna lie. Just, you know, the culmination of, I know he can attest to this, just every single day, all our lives, all the hard work building up to like this moment. And it's just, senior night just shows that it was worth it. Like, we didn't waste our time. It just makes it real. So it was definitely a little emotional.
Ray J, I know tonight wasn't the most defensive night, but is there something about this team that, you know, kind of when it gets tight, this team can lock in defensively, especially like that last stretch of the game?
Yeah, I think we have a really mentally tough team, and I think that's something we've came a long way throughout the season. And so, I mean, they hit us first and they threw the first punch, but we were able to keep our heads and focus on what we can fix basketball-wise and not get too emotional and make a comeback.
For either one of you, I mean, obviously two pretty big crowds the last two games, despite it being spring break, especially with the students. I mean, what can y'all kind of say to them for that?
I mean, these last couple games, I think we got the best fans in the country. For a second there, it was so loud you can't hear anything. We talking to each other right next to each other, we can't hear anything. So, I mean, it was great.
Ray J, I remember Scott called a timeout about 2 minutes into the second half. I think Max had hit 3 straight shots. Y'all were making yours, but what was the message in that timeout, or do you remember that?
We got to stop trading baskets. I mean, we were trading baskets, and we were down, I think, 11 at that point. And, I mean, we couldn't win that way, trading baskets, and they had a comfortable lead, so we had to find a way to get stops.
Appreciate it.
Well, as a coach, you're always worried about senior night because you always want to send the seniors out the right way. And I know really credit to Texas for starting out and putting us on our heels. But I thought our guys did a great job fighting back. The crowd was awesome. Didn't let us get down. Jonathan Chamochacho had the magic words that got us going second half. And as I told the seniors afterwards in the team, proud of their effort and their play, but more proud of the men they are. I mean, the culture of joy, they embrace it. Jesus, others, yourself, they live it. They want to grow. We prepare champions for life at Baylor, and they're all in with the academics, the spiritual, the character formation, and obviously they want to be successful on the court.
2 questions, because you just gave me a question there. What were John's magic words?
I'd rather him tell you.
Okay. What was it like watching Max and JB shoot the ball like that?
Well, I really like watching JB shoot it. Max, I didn't like as much. So I know Max. I know so much about him from Coach Mills and Coach Patterson, Oral Roberts. They just love him to death, and not only as a player, but more importantly as a person and great student athlete. And as a coach, you go into a game and you're like, don't let this guy get hot. And he's always going to score. You just don't want 33. You want 15 or 12 or 17. And he did a great job. And then 5 assists, 1 turnover, 4 steals. I mean, it was a complete game by him. So let's go back to JB. JB at shoot-around told me, man, 5 years just flew by. Wait till he's a parent, huh? but told me you got to stay in the moment, and you got 60 years to remember this game. Let's leave it all on the court tonight. And he was tremendous. And one thing about a guy that's hot like that, normally they get to a point where they just start forcing some stuff. And I mean, he was 6 for 7 from 3. 8 for 11. He never forced stuff. And then the best thing is he got to the free throw line. And I thought Texas is a real physical team, a real aggressive team. And that put us on the heels in the beginning. We moved the ball a little better. Once we got it side to side, we tried to drive it. And I think that was really critical because we needed to get to the free throw line.
Hey, Coach, for Baylor and for UT, it's the oldest rivalry for either school. What are you guys as coaches, the players, or the fans, what are y'all going to miss most about this series?
Well, I think when I first got to Baylor, Coach Barnes really had it rolling there. And I thought they raised the basketball level in the state as a whole. And we benefited from some of that. And then once our program got going, we've had great games. And iron sharpens iron. So you get done and you become a better team after a game like that. I know it means a lot to the state, it means a lot to the fans. And at the end of the day, that's why the state schools are so good, is because the grassroots, the high schools, AAUs, and they all see us universities competing at the highest level. So I think everyone's pitched in and made Texas as good as anywhere in the country for basketball.
Scott, back here, you always talk about culture of joy. Saw lots of tears of joy there at the end. Kind of, can you describe even all the emotions that went into tonight?
I mean, as a coach, you just really want to win for the seniors, and this was a great group, and every group's special. But it's kind of like, I guess the best way I can say it is at Christmas time, you give a gift, and the worst thing is if they're disappointed, well, that's losing on senior night. So when you win, it just makes it so much nicer for them to have that memory of the last time they played in the Foster, they got to win.
Hey, Scott, do you think Texas has done enough to get into the tournament?
Oh, yeah. That's not even close. So Big 12 hopefully is going to have 10 or 11 teams. I think there could be 7-win teams get into the tournament this year. What I really respect is across the nation, just hearing the media give kudos and respect to the Big 12, because we've been the best conference in the country now for 7-8 years. But to hear everybody acknowledge that, and I think it's a great tribute to every university. Just I was talking to one official, and after the game, and he's like, the Big 12, not tonight, but every game, wherever you're at, it's packed house, competitive game, probably comes down to the last possession, and that's how you feel as a coach. And I mean, because the schools pour resources into it, and the arenas are all so tough to win on the road, and even when I first got here, Roy Williams said, you got to win your home games because it's the toughest league in the country to win in the road.
What about that Miro 3? How much of a lift did that give you, just his energy and then him hitting that 3?
Well, Miro always gives us energy, but because he's an energetic kid. He's an energy giver. He's unbelievable to coach every day. He's never has a bad day. somebody sometimes gets too excited. But I mean, he was very good tonight. The three was just part of that. When he was in, he really stabled things, and then we got a run going. So he deserves a lot of credit for both ends of the court.
Scott, 39 minutes from both Jalen and Ray J today. How were they able to play so effectively with so many minutes between both Saturday and today?
Nutritionist Corey does a great job. Trainer Dave Snyder, Charlie Melton, strength coach. Those guys get them ready. And then most of all, you got to have guys that take care of themselves. In college, we all know it's a fun time, and sometimes some guys don't take care of their bodies as much as others, and our guys really are devoted to their craft.
Coach, a win against TCU, then over Kansas and now Texas. Do you feel like your team's hitting the stride at the right time?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep tonight. But no, I thought second half against Houston, we really played well. We really competed, and from that half on, we've been pretty good. For us to be the best we can be, got to get Langston back in the mix and get him going. And then, I mean, we all know this year is wide open. So I'm hoping Dylan DeSue's okay, and so much respect for him. My brother recruited him to Vanderbilt, and he was a great player there, and he's done a great job at Texas. So prayers for him.
What sort of adjustments did you make there with about 13 minutes left in the second half to kind of make it a little bit, tougher on Texas defensively?
I think we started praying that Max would miss a couple shots, but no, we tried 3 or 4 different types of defenses. We tweak each thing that we do, and finally I think we settled into where our zone was pretty good, and we did a good job on Max. But to be honest, they missed some shots then. In the beginning of the game, they didn't miss any of them.
How grateful are you to have the support from the students, despite it being spring break over the last 2 games?
I mean, you see your schedule, and you're like, crud, we finished the year with these games, and it means so much to our fans, and just thankful for the students that stayed here. And both times they were out before the game early, and just very appreciative for them, because that's one thing that makes college basketball special. Hey, you guys have a great night.
You know what, Scott? Y'all won. I'll let you
go ahead. It's an and one.
Oh, very fair. Scott, kind of piggybacking on that, with Texas leaving for the SEC, you've obviously won a ton of big games nationally. Where does this kind of rank regular season-wise with the comeback and everything else you all achieved tonight?
Every Big 12 win is feels like you've accomplished something, and each year you're like, it can't get more competitive top to bottom, and it hasn't disappointed. So, because it seems to do that. And, I mean, Texas coming in, we knew they were playing as good as anybody in the conference. So we knew we had our hands full. But coming back against Houston and not winning, and then coming back against Texas and winning, we're seeing some growth. Not many people are starting 2 freshmen. Not many people are starting 4 newcomers. So they're no longer freshmen; they're sophomores, and all the new guys in the Big 12, they've earned their stripes and know what it's about. So they're making progress. Thank you, guys.